Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another edition of Nothing to It But to Do It. Now, in this edition, we're going to be talking about financial knowledge. The 5 things that are imperative for you to know in order to become more proficient in your ability to understand what's going on with your financial situations. We're going to cut right to it, starting with number 1, budgeting. Budgeting means you must be able to track your spending, folks. We've all heard the saying, knowledge is power. If you don't have knowledge of what you're doing, you're susceptible to cons. You're susceptible to your own bad habits, your own bad spendings that's going to get you into that trap of being forever in debt and forever in poverty. So you must be able to track that spending. And there are things you can do to track that spending. You can use spreadsheet technology. I've talked about it before. Online, you can use Google has Excel, Microsoft has spreadsheets. There's spreadsheets you can use online. There's even budgeting tools that are much more advanced. Look up free budgeting tools online, and it basically gives you a template that you can put your numbers in based on what you spend. And then once you understand what you spend, because here's the thing, most people don't know what they spend. You can ask a person last week what they spent and say, I'll give you $1,000. You can tell me down to the penny, and they can't tell you. That is the problem. Once you understand your spending and you're able to track your spending, now you're able to budget realistically to get yourself out of bad debt and start yourself toward the wave of financial freedom. Because I'm telling you right now, folks, if you don't start that, and I'm talking about you, and you will not be able to start your way to your financial freedom. Now, number 2, savings. You must have knowledge of savings. You must understand that you have to have an emergency fund, hands down, or you won't make it. Because I guarantee you, on your journey to financial freedom, you are going to have hardships. I'll guarantee it. I don't know one person who has went 10 years of going through life and didn't have some type of emergency that cost them money. So I'm telling you, you need to understand and have a financial knowledge of how to save correctly, including emergency funds and long-term growth savings. These are things that you're going to be saving for, so you don't have to, on the spur of the moment, just pluck down the money. You can be saving for a car, be saving for a vacation, something like that. So you need to have knowledge of your savings and how to properly save. Number 3, investing. Investing. I cannot reiterate that enough. People, stop thinking that you need to live paycheck to paycheck. No, you need to live so that you're investing something for your future. If you want to live financially free, Social Security is not going to do it. Now, if you want to scrimp and scrape the rest of your life, you can do that. Social Security provider, I guarantee you, talk to some people right now just living on Social Security. Look at where they're living and how they're living, and they'll tell you Social Security barely makes ends meet. So, understanding retirement, understanding also brokerage accounts, because you're not just putting money into your retirement, but you're also having active money that you're having going in, that you're investing into mutual funds, stocks, things like that, that is going to provide you today's money that you need to do. So you're putting in money and you're investing that money. 10, 15 years down the line, that money is worth more. You can pull it out with long-term gains, and depending on what your salary is, or depending on what your adjusted gross income is, you may pay zero interest on those capital gains, or zero tax on those capital gains. I'll talk about that I'll get more in depth into that in later episodes, but just know that understanding and having knowledge of how brokerage accounts work, in addition to stocks and bonds, is imperative to you and your financial freedom. And there's other things, etc., that I've spoken about before in previous episodes. Real estate. Some people invest in real estate. Some people invest in gold. Some in silver. There's a lot of different things that you can invest in that can be part of your investings. Dare I say, even crypto. Not for me, but some people invest in crypto, and they do very well with it. So investing It's the third part of an imperative strategy that you need to use gaining your financial knowledge. Number 4, debt. And more so, debt, managing debt. Managing debt, folks, because if you don't manage debt, debt will manage you. You must understand something. The first thing you need to know is to get your credit score. That'll give you a baseline of where you're starting. Get your credit score so you know the power that you have in your purse. Don't worry about the other person. Worry about what you have in your purse. Once you have that credit score, now look at managing those credit cards. Like I said before in the past, stay out of credit card debt. And if you are in credit card debt, pay those credit cards off as soon as possible, starting with the one with the highest interest rate and then going in with the one with the highest balance. Loans. Your loans you got from the bank, maybe you have a home equity loan, a personal loan or something like that. Work on getting those things paid down in a timely manner. And if you got payday loans, folks, let me tell you, run as fast as you can to that place and start paying that thing off, because that will bleed you as quick as I don't know what, so that you won't have enough to put in savings or to put in investing. So number 4, debt. Understanding that not and getting your knowledge in debt is what is going to be able to help you in your financial future towards your financial independence. And number 5, last but not least, understanding products and services. People, I don't know how many times I have seen people put money in the bank, paying them 0.5% on their money, when you could have money in a brokerage account paying you 4%. I don't know how many times I've seen people that go in and say, I'm not going to invest in a 401k. I don't know what those things are. I'm not giving my money, only to see themselves at age 65 with nothing to show for but Social Security. So you need to understand products and services. How do you understand those products and services? Online courses. Right now, you can log into Fidelity. And if you have money in Fidelity or a brokerage account in Fidelity, they have all these courses that you can take for free. And you just go through and browse and understand how different things work, how mutual funds work, how individual stocks work. They'll even get you into advanced stuff like calls and puts and stuff like that. But you must begin by understanding your products and service. Pick up books, review books, read books, Finance for Dummies, Budgeting for Dummies, things like that. Those books that are out there. And they don't mean you're dummies. They mean you don't understand what's going on right now. Read those books so that you have an understanding. And don't just pick one book. Read multiple books so that you can get an understanding of different angles of financial diversity. Okay? Workshops. I am not against going to workshops. And a lot of times with these workshops, you have to be careful because they'll try to pull you in to buy certain products and stuff. If you don't have a strong constitution and you can't up and say no, do not go to those workshops that offer you a free steak dinner or a free meal or a free trip if you can't get away from pressurized selling. But they have workshops at libraries, community centers. A lot of times, the commerce, the commerce department in your city will host workshops. Different online groups will host workshops. And these workshops are geared towards making you more literate in your financial journey. Also, financial advisors. Now, if you really are not comfortable with handling your investments, or you really don't want to have time for handling your investments, or you just want to know a little bit, enough so you know what's going on with your investments, get yourself a financial advisor. Now, me personally, I wouldn't get a financial advisor that works on commission. I would get one that works on a standard rate. But whichever one that you do, get yourself a financial advisor that you can trust, that you know is going to be putting your best interest forward, and they will explain to you what they're doing as they're doing it. So you're not left in the lurch wondering, what is this man doing with my money? They'll explain to you step by step what they're doing so that you understand what's going on with your own financial situation. And I'll also tell you YouTube. But you notice I put YouTube in red with some asterisks around YouTube because you got to be careful. It's just like all money ain't good money. All YouTube ain't good YouTube. Anybody out there that's asking you to give them some type of money, or anybody out there telling you they can give you a 30% gain, 50% gain, any of that scam type stuff, or any of those people that's talking about how they're sitting in front of their Lamborghini, talking about how they made money doing this and you can too, run. Don't walk, run away from those. But there are some good YouTube channels. One of the ones I like is Holy Smith. That guy is no nonsense, talks to you straight. Another one of the guys, I don't know his YouTube page, but his name is Remedy, and he talks to people who make like $150,000 a year, but live paycheck to paycheck and are in debt. I know it sounds crazy. Somebody can be making $150,000 a year, but they're in debt. But you can find those channels that are reputable channels that are trying to tell you something based on what they've done and they found out the better way, or that they've been educated at and they're certified public accountants and things of that nature. So you can find a way to get that financial knowledge. But here's the thing you got to understand. It never ends. People, today, I'm still learning new things that I didn't know. I'm constantly training myself, constantly teaching myself, learning about new vehicles in the financial market so that I can stay at one step ahead of the society that tries to keep you and hold you back. Because here's what you got to understand. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We are a capitalist society. Rich people get rich off of poor people buying things they can't afford and getting into debt. That's just how it works. I don't make the laws. I don't make it. It is what it is. And they keep you trapped in that by every now and then throwing you a bone, whether it be through welfare, Section 8, any of that kind of stuff, so that you don't have an incentive to break that cycle, go out and start for yourself, empowering yourself to become financially independent. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, the 5 things that are imperative for you to gain financial knowledge is budgeting, savings, investing, debt, mainly managing your debt, and understanding products and services. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you enjoyed it, give me the thumbs up, the like button, and also subscribe. Tell your friends and everybody about this channel. I'm going to try to build this channel, talk to you guys. It might not always be so in-depth with the financial, but it'll have something to do with empowering yourself. So if you like this channel, give a thumbs up. I hope you subscribe. Leave comments if you have any questions or anything that I can help you with, or maybe lead you towards something that can help you with it. And like always, folks, if you're trying to seek your financial knowledge, ain't nothing to it but to do it.